All right, so starting from here now, we can now say that this is our lower low, this is our lower high, right? We have a new lower low, a new lower high, lower low, right? We'll say lower high. Okay, instead we'll call this lower high over here, and then we're expecting a lower low. But what do we see? We see that price did not break structure below the wick, so this is not our valid lower high, right? This is our valid lower high. And then what do we see? Price never broke this lower low. Instead, it came and broke our last lower high. So let me get rid of this. So when it broke above this our last lower high, we can now start saying, okay, we're expecting to see higher highs and higher lows, right? And truly we start seeing higher highs, right? Higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Okay, you see that above this place, the body is never really closed above it, but instead what now happened? We see that this is our last lower high. Why is it our last lower high? Because it's the last high that shifted market structure above, right? Because above this high there's no another new high, so this is our last valid lower high. And then at this point we can now see shifted market structure to the downside, right? And we'll start expecting continuation of that. So you can go to your charts and start checking all of this stuff out, and I'm sure it begin to make sense, right? I'm sure it begin to make sense. So before we wrap up this video, I got interrupted a few minutes earlier. I had to start recording again. So before we wrap up this video, I just want to show you something. So earlier on I talked about how the higher time frame will always determine the trend, right? So I want to show you something called the fractality, right, of price. So price is fractal. When we say price is fractal, what do we mean? The reason why I said higher time frame will always determine. Now look at this. This was a retracement, right, of a continuation in bullish move. Let's assume black signifies the daily time frame. So black signifies the daily time frame. Let's put this here. I want to make a quick point before I wrap up this video. So black signifies the daily time frame, and then let's say red is going to signify the 1 hour time frame. The 1 hour time frame. Right, so look at, if you were on the daily, right, that's why we're seeing black, right? You know what will be happening on the lower time frame? We'll be having something like this. So look at this move. We had expansion, retracement, expansion, retracement, expansion, retracement on the daily. You know what's happening on the 1 hour? While we are just on this singular expansion here, on the 1 hour we're also having expansion, retracement, expansion, retracement, expansion, retracement, right? Expansion, retracement, expansion, right? And then you might see something like this. Now you can see something like this whereby we break structure to the downside and start thinking, we're low, we're bearish now, and that's because why? You're on the 1 hour time frame. But when you go to the higher time frame, you realize that okay, we broke market structure, but does that really mean we're now bearish, or does that mean that now we're about to retrace to certain levels and then continue going higher, right? So what do we now continue to see? We see a retracement here on the 1 hour, right? Expansion, retracement, expansion, retracement, expansion, and then we now broke market structure again at this point, right? So you see that the entire reason we went bearish on the 1 hour time frame was so that we can retrace on the daily, because we are still bullish on the daily, and then continue going higher. So what will you now expect? Another retracement, expansion, retracement, expansion, retracement, expansion, retracement, expansion, and then we broke market structure again. And then if you're on the 1 hour without understanding that okay, this is a retracement, you now start saying okay, no, we are fully bearish, and we are actually not fully bearish. So even if you are going to be trading, you are going to be trading knowing that at certain levels, right, there are certain levels of this retracement, you are going to start expecting what? Expansion back to the upside, right? Because that's what we're going to start treating later. When to expect the expansions, when to expect the retracements, right? So you always know that at certain levels we're going to start seeing expansion to the upside in a bullish environment, or expansions back to the downside, right, in a bearish environment. So you know that when we're retracing, we are going to reach a particular level in that range whereby we'll continue with the true direction, right? So when we're retracing here at a particular place within this range of that expansion, we'll start going back in the true direction, right? So just keep that in mind. That's why I said always know what's happening on the higher time frame, so that you can plan your trade alongside that. There's this quote that used to be saying the trend is your friend, right? So you see we're in an uptrend here. If you were looking for bearish opportunity, and let's say you got one or two good bearish trades here, and you now come and made another bearish trade perhaps at this point. So let's say at this point right here, because always when we reach certain levels we'll start going back down. When we reach certain levels we'll start going back down. You also be expecting that when we reach certain levels here, what will happen? We'll start going back down. But instead, what happens? We start going back up. So you need to be able to understand that, okay, this entire bearish movement on the 1 hour time frame is just a retracement for continuation to go higher. And this thing applies like if you're on the 15 minutes, let's say red was 15 minutes, and you didn't understand that on 1 hour we were bullish, then you think that on 15 minutes we'll just keep going bearish, not knowing that it's just a retracement to continue going higher on the 1 hour time frame. So go to your chart, check out this stuff. In the next video we're going to be discussing liquidity.